What's going on, y'all? You're tuned into another episode of Everything Ain't For Everybody. I'm your host, Lighthouse. What it do? Today we're going to be talking about Tank and the Bangas album, The Heart, the Mind, and the Soul. Let's get into it. Okay, so for my first episode, I was just trying to figure things out, you know what I mean? And I just was, putting my little razzle dazzle on things and just trying to kind of assess how I would actually run this show. Now, I did my editing, before I did a bunch of different episodes. I wanted to just go in and just see how the flow of the episode was and just try to take some notes to improve the experience for my viewers. So I did make some notes and I want to keep on improving upon what I'm establishing here at Everything For Everybody. So with that being said, we're going to be seeing some refinement as we progress with the show. And I just hope you guys enjoy the ride and enjoy what I'm doing. Okay, y'all, we gotta talk about an album that embodies Black artistry in its purest, unfiltered form. Tank and the Bangas Grammy Award-winning project, The Heart, the Mind, the Soul. This album is fire. This ain't just music, it's poetry, it's storytelling. It's a whole experience masterfully crafted from start to finish. It's a masterful blend of hip hop, jazz, and soul music. I mean, it's incredible. The album feels like a conversation between the past, the present, and the future of Black music. It's amazing. I first heard it and just was like, there's no skips to this. This album is really good, well produced, incredible. I was surprised. I just looked at the cover. I've heard of Tank and the Bangers. I know that they did a Tiny Desk 7 years ago. They was early on it. I'm not really a person that's into spoken word like that. However, this album really spoke to me. No pun intended. It's just it's like Jill Scott, who's actually featured on the album. Those type of vibes. Very soulful, very deep in how do you say it? Just a robust sense of expression. It's very dense and very good, but it's just feels light. It's the music actually just touches you, man. I love this project. It's really good. Highly recommended. Tank doesn't just sing, she does the poetry too. So it's she has these ill rhymes and these schemes and it's very, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. You gonna get right. It's medicinal listening to her music. This whole project just allows you to become introspective. I feel there's songs that I want to share with other people who might be going through something or who just I know would appreciate this type of vibe. And I'm definitely going to do that. She has a litany of artists on this album who all cohesively add to it and make this album what it is. I mean, she does a great job, but the features really take it to a next level, I love every song on this album, but these songs stand out to me the most. Remember by Samara Jay and Robert Glasper, I believe he produced it. It's a jazz-infused, soul-stirring moment. Another song on the album that I really like, I really love the production of it. It's called Hoo Ha, featuring Jay Ivy. His poetry is dope. I believe the first time I heard him was on Kanye's album. The next song that I like is They Don't See Whole Foods, which features Asia Monet. It's a poetic, powerful, and deeply resonant song on the album. Feels like your chakras is being massage. Just this album is very zen. It's very holistic. It just feels like herbal medicine sonically. That's how I'm gonna phrase it. I really fuck with this album wholeheartedly. The production is also flawless. We have James Poyser, Robert Glasper, Iman Omari, Brian London, and Austin Brown. Iman Omari and Robert Glasper in particular brought a level of warmth and depth to this project that makes it feel timeless. Yeah, it's a vibe, man. It's like neo soul, but what we need right now. In terms of categorizing it as a genre, we would say neo soul, but it's like so much more than that. It's really soul music. She's from New Orleans. It's a gumbo of different expressions, and it's just masterfully crafted and just created to be excellent. This is a great album. You know, this is like a win for Black music. It's a win for the culture. It's a win for just excellent skillmanship from Black people. It's important that we salute these offerings and hoist them up so that everyone can be aware that there is good music being pushed out there, you know? So I love this album. This album is proof that when artistry is prioritized, greatness happens. Final word. This album isn't just music, it's an experience, it's a message, it's a movement. It deserves every bit of recognition that it is receiving. What do you guys think about this album? Have you checked it out? If you haven't, make sure that you check out what's called Taking the Bangers, the Heart, the Mind, the Soul. And let me know what you think in the comments. Today, we're gonna talk about something that I think is important, and it's the shift in Black music. A friend of mine sent me a video, L.A. Reid being interviewed on R&B Money, which is hosted by Tank and Jay Valentine. It's one of my favorite podcasts that I watch on a regular basis. Here's a clip from the show.
The telephone man.
Don't do that.
So here's the difference. Like,
Yeah.
and here's how I just thought of this while I'm sitting here, and why I think that it's that way. You know, there was a time, and in the past, not that distant past, but we were talking earlier about Dick Griffey.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Berry Gordy.
Yes.
We talked about Gerald Busby. We talked about Black leaders who were the curators of the music that we loved, right? And that is all but missing. We still have great ones. We still have Sylvia Rhone. We have, Zeke Lewis. We have Tunji. We have some great executives in really great positions, but very, very few.
Yeah.
And only, I think you and I talked about it. How many important boutique labels do we have that are Black? Because that's where the community is built from, right?
Absolutely.
You started at Blackground, right?
Yep.
Right.
Boutique.
A boutique, right? And an artist I had started at LaFace, and there was Uptown artists, and there was Death Row artists, there was Motown artists, and there was Stax artists, and there were like, and that was where Black music was nurtured, curated, and it wasn't, no disrespect to anybody, but it wasn't so much us asking for permission.
So I kind of feel, I feel 100% wholeheartedly what L.A. Reid and the brothers is talking about. But let's talk about something real here. Is Black music suffering? And if it is, it's not because we lack talent, it's because decision makers don't look like us anymore. And what they were saying is that when you have boutique labels, they were making decisions. Now that things are like data-driven and analytic-driven, it's hard to resonate with the music, in my opinion. I feel like we have to get back to a place where we are in control of our music. We develop our artists. There has to be a form of gatekeeping, if you will, to make sure that quality artists are afforded the opportunity to produce good music and speak to the human condition, and it get broadcasted throughout the world, I don't think that's going to happen unless people just take the initiative upon themselves and just do it. And there are people doing it. You still tapped into the hood, to go to this place, or you have somebody who is connected to you that could be like, yo, check this out. And as a tastemaker, you're gonna be like, yeah, I fucks with this. I'm gonna push this out. And it used to be that. And it used to be more tough people, there was more men, more strong women who was taking a stand, yo, nah, this is what's hot. We the tastemakers, we gonna push the culture forward. And there's not any more of that. It's very minimal. We gotta return to the times when we had D.O.Y., Chris Lighty, K. Slay, You know, we had people like, you know, A&R and like, God bless his soul, Ice Pick J, you know, different people, Dame Dash. We need people that's gonna go in and advocate for us and make sure that what we doing musically is it. What I'm saying is that we need to return to a place where we're in more control of our music and like what gets out. We need more love in our ears. We don't need more, there's no balance. Before we had the hardcore hip hop shit, we had the underground stuff, we had conscious rap, we had alternative rap. To be able to make the music we want to make without any permission. When you don't have to ask for permission, the music stays close to its roots. When the execs look like us and they make the calls, the results tend to be different. The absence of black decision makers in music has changed the DNA of black music. So in conclusion, I believe that black music should have black leadership. And if there's not black leadership, there should be someone in place who has an appreciation for how black creativity flows and how it works. And they should allow someone to come in and just, or allow the artists to be themselves within the parameters of like making money and reaching your bottom line, of course, but allow the artists to make the music that they want to make within the confines of creating the album that's going to be viable and palatable for the world at large. Music that speaks to the human condition, we need that. You know, I just want good music. I want more variety. Essentially, I just want more variety. You don't have to agree with what I'm saying, but I just want more variety. I want it to be where people can make decisions and we don't have to do corny music. We don't have to do the dumb shit. We see what won. We see how Kendrick won. Kendrick came from a boutique label, and these is black people making the decisions. These is black people doing the shit that's fly. These are tastemakers, like L.A. Reid said. We need tastemakers, you know? Here's a clip of what he was saying when we talked about tastemaking.
It matters. And the free-for-all at this point, I get it.
It's all good.
I get it. But there were people, when there were pillars in place,
yeah, man,
holding up the fucking building. We were
that's right.
Great. Jeez.
Because
those boutiques would get in the trenches.
Oh, bro, think about it. Rowdy. So deaf.
Trenches.
Come on, man. Thank you. Thank you. I left out disturbing the peace.
Disturbing the peace.
Right.
Oh,
it's so many. Cash money. Come on, man. These black boutiques created nothing but stardom.
Nothing but
stardom. And those were not decisions that they asked permission to make. That's talent that came their way and they said yes because they thought it was great. And that's the difference.
Yeah.
I trust me, none of the stars we're talking about are algorithmic signings.
Not at all.
Every
Not
one
even
of them
close.
was somebody who said, I love that.
Yeah, nobody got signed off for analytic.
Everybody said, I love. Somebody
that.
said, I love Tank.
Yeah.
That same person said, I also love Timberland. And that same person said, I also love Aaliyah. And that same person, right? Taste.
Yeah.
That's taste.
Tastemakers within black music are the gatekeepers because it has to come to a certain standard. And we know what the standard is. Someone who's not from the culture might not understand the standard. They only understand what's being reflected in numbers. So if the numbers show something, then they automatically assume that that's just what it is. But that ain't necessarily what it is. A tastemaker knows soul and knows that, you know, these components to a song will resonate. This sequence to an album is going to actually heal the world. Think about Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. They had mad songs and they had to narrow them shits down, you know? That's taste making, you know? Not to say that someone outside the culture can't do it, but they ain't doing it enough and they ain't gonna do it like us. No pun intended. But anyway, that's my time, y'all. Let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Everything for everybody. Peace.